God is holding your blessing. There comes a moment quiet, raw, almost unbearable when life feels too heavy to carry another step. Your body keeps moving, but your spirit, it's dragging behind, battered by prayers that seem unanswered and nights that never seem to end. You smile in public, nod through conversations, but behind closed doors you collapse. Not just physically, but spiritually. You wonder if God sees you at all, if He hears anything beyond the sighs and silent tears. But let me tell you this, He does. He sees everything. He hasn't missed a single tear that fell onto your pillow. Not a single groan that rose from your chest when you had no words left. He's not blind to your exhaustion. He's sitting right in it with you. Your weakness is not failure. Your weariness is not rejection. Sometimes the most sacred form of strength is to simply not quit, to wake up one more time and whisper, God, I don't have much left, but I'm still here. And He honors that. Heaven doesn't ignore the ones who cry in secret. Heaven responds to the broken with power, mercy, and presence. You don't have to climb your way out. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You just have to hold on, because the same God who held you together when you thought you were falling apart is holding the other end of that thread, and He will never let go. So when you're walking through that silent battlefield where the war is invisible but the wounds are real, know this: you are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The delay is not a denial. The silence is not the absence of God. It's in the stillness, in the stretching, in the waiting room of your life that He is preparing something you can't yet see. And while you're praying for strength, He's building endurance. While you're praying for a way out, He's fortifying you for what's coming. Because what you carry has purpose. What you've survived has weight in the kingdom. Don't be ashamed of being tired. Don't let the world convince you that being worn down means you're weak in faith. Even Jesus wept. Even Jesus grew weary. But He didn't quit, and neither will you. You were never called to outrun your storm. You were called to outlast it. And when you feel like you can't go any further, that's exactly where His grace steps in. Not when you're strong, but when you're done. When your hands are shaking and your prayers sound more like groans than sentences, that's when the heavens lean in. You may not have answers, but you have access. You have a God who bends low to lift the broken, a God who counts every sleepless night and promises that nothing you endure will be wasted. And so even if today all you can do is breathe in faith. Even if your only act of worship is staying alive, stay. Hold on, because He's holding you. And that thread you feel like you're hanging from, it's not breaking. It's being woven into a testimony the world won't be able to deny. And when that day comes, when the clouds finally part and the weight begins to lift, you'll look back and realize it wasn't your strength that got you through. It was His. It wasn't your perfection, your prayers said perfectly, or your ability to keep it all together. It was grace, raw, relentless grace that carried you. The kind that meets you in the bathroom floor breakdowns, in the whispered, God, I can't do this anymore, and the numb walks to nowhere. The kind that doesn't need you to be loud or bold or fearless, just honest. He never asked you to be the hero of your own story. He asked you to trust the author, and the one who began the work in you, He will finish it. Not in your timing, not in the way you planned, but in a way that will make sense when you see it unfold. Because this weariness you feel, it's not the end. It's the tension before the breakthrough. It's the achy before the miracle. You are closer than you think. So don't let the enemy convince you that your tired soul means God has left the room. If anything, it means He's drawing near. The cracks in your heart, that's where His light gets in. The thread you're hanging on to, That's tied to His promise, and His promises never unravel. You're still here for a reason, and even if you can't see the next step yet, you are still walking with the one who knows every inch of the road ahead. Keep breathing, keep trusting. Rest if you must, but don't you dare let go. God's still holding you, and He's not done. One day you'll tell the story of this season not with bitterness, but with reverence. You'll speak of how the nights broke you open, but they didn't break you down. How you almost let go, but someone kept your hands clenched just tight enough to stay. And you'll realize that what felt like abandonment was actually protection. That the delay was preparation. That the loneliness wasn't punishment, it was God pulling you close, away from noise, so you could finally hear Him whisper, "I am still with you." And no, you won't forget what it felt like. The ache, the silence, the exhaustion. But you'll also remember the shift, the quiet strength that entered your bones when you had nothing left to give. You'll remember the strange peace that made no sense. The strength that rose not because you were powerful, but because He is. And that's when you'll understand God didn't just rescue you from the valley, He rebuilt you in it. So let the world keep rushing. Let the pressure keep shouting. But you, child of God, you stay close. Stay low. Stay grounded in the truth that you're tired is not a curse. It's a signal, a holy, sacred sign that it's time to lean harder into the arms that never grow weary. Let Him carry what you can't. Let Him be the strength in your surrender. And when people ask how you made it through, you'll smile, not because it was easy, but because you know who walked you through the fire and didn't let you burn. And when you stand on the other side of this stronger, softer, wiser, you won't just be healed, you'll be transformed. You won't walk the same, you won't see the world the same, because pain rewrites perspective. It carves out compassion, it burns away the noise and leaves you with only what's real. And what's real is this: God never left. Not once, not when you stopped praying, not when you started doubting, not even when you were angry with Him. His faithfulness is not fragile. It doesn't flinch when you fall apart. It holds, it waits, and it rebuilds. This is the kind of victory the world won't clap for. The kind where you didn't get the job or the answer or the outcome you begged for, but you got back up anyway. This is the kind of faith that hell fears, the quiet kind, the tired kind, I'm still here kind. Because the enemy knows when God breathes into the weary, they rise different, stronger, steadier, unshakable. So go ahead and rest if you need to. Cry if you must. Let the tears fall, they water the soil of your next season. But don't for a second believe that your weariness means you're weak. It means you've been fighting. It means you've been faithful. And it means God is about to show you why the battle was even allowed in the first place. You're not forgotten. You're not lost. You're being led step by holy step into something deeper than comfort, into purpose, into strength, into Him. And that thread, that thin fraying thread you thought was holding you together, one day you'll realize it was never just a thread, it was His hand all along. And when that realization hits you, when it sinks in that it wasn't your grip that kept you alive, but His, you'll stop apologizing for being tired. You'll stop feeling ashamed for needing help, because now you know survival wasn't weakness, it was worship. Every breath you took when anxiety tried to suffocate you, every step you took when depression said stay down, every moment you whispered, God, I don't understand it, but I trust you anyway, that was praise in its purest form. You didn't need to have all the right words. You didn't need to stand tall. All you had to do was show up broken, and He met you there. Because grace doesn't wait until you're perfect. It invades your life in the mess, in the madness, in the mayhem, and it stays. That's what makes your story powerful. Not that you escaped the fire, but that you endured it. Not that you avoided pain, but that pain could not destroy you. And now you carry something unshakable. Not a pretty testimony tied in a ball, but a real one. One that says, yes, I was exhausted. Yes, I was lost, but God held me anyway. You carry scars that preach louder than sermons. Scars that say, I've been through hell and heaven didn't let go. So no, you're not the same person who entered this storm. You're the one who walked through it and found God standing in the middle of it whispering, I never left. You didn't just survive the season, you grew roots in it. And now when someone else is hanging by a thread, you'll know exactly what to say. You'll look them in the eyes and say, you're not alone. I've been there, and I promise He's still holding you. So hold on to that truth like your life depends on it, because it does. When your faith feels like a flicker, remember it's the light that can't be snuffed out. When your heart pounds heavy with doubt and fear, remind yourself that God's strength shows up best in your weakness. You're not here by accident, and your story isn't finished. The very things that broke you are being woven into a testimony that will shake the foundations of every doubt, every fear, every lie you once believed. Lean into the waiting, rest in the silence, cry when you need to, but don't quit. Not now, not ever. The thread you're holding on to, it's not just hope, it's a lifeline, a promise, a covenant. And on the other end, a God who knows you, loves you, and will never, ever let go. That's the power behind your tired bones and weary soul. That's the unshakable foundation beneath every step you take. So keep breathing, keep praying, keep trusting, because your breakthrough is coming. And it's already on its way. Like, comment, and subscribe.